So I got another great question from Greg. He says, from some of your videos and your wallpaper of the American flag, I assume that you are an ex-soldier, but also from your calm demeanor, I feel strongly that you are. I guess I never explicitly said I was a soldier or told him I was a soldier, but also from your calm demeanor, I feel strongly that you are. I've never seen you flustered, even for the grueling data analytics boot camp that we went through together last year. Greg and I worked on projects together, and we'd have our Zoom meetings, and some of those projects we'd hit nasty dead ends, just walls that we would try every algorithm we could find, and we couldn't get through the problem, and it'd be like 13 hours later and we'd finally find the solution. That's how tough these boot camps could be. What is your secret to staying calm and not flinching, even in a fear filled society like the one we are faced with today? Uh, that's such a loaded question. I'll try to break it down into a tool that you guys can use, something you can take away. Because I do feel like I've had moments in my life where uh, I did succeed in staying calm. I did succeed in executing the mission under severe pressure and stress that many people would have failed if they did not have the experience and the tools that I use when I come up against problems that seem insurmountable. Okay. Or when a situation has you so emotionally riled up at the moment that you can't think straight. I've had I'm married. I've had many heated arguments with my wife, which definitely clouded my cognitive processes and resulted in me saying things I've regretted. Um, I've been in competitive sports my whole life. So under extreme situations where the clock is running out and we're down or I'm down on the scoreboard in a wrestling match or a football game, panic has definitely set in. I'm no stranger to panic, no stranger to the paralyzing effects panic has on the mind and then transfers to the body. Uh, it can literally make you freeze and tense up to the point where it impairs your physical athleticism, precision, your accuracy, your coordination. So for example, I think a good one is for like a soldier. Uh, you're terrified. You're in a firefight. You're you've been shot at, and because you gotta be fluid. You can't shake. You can't be too tight. You gotta be fluid. And you gotta be able to squeeze the trigger, not yank on the trigger. Okay. Most people will miss shots in a firefight because they're yanking aggressively. You got to squeeze smoothly and just pop, 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 pop. Stay calm, stay smooth. Smooth increases accuracy, but you need a certain calmness about it. Okay, so and that'll transfer to other activities like pool, anything that requires accuracy and execution under a acute time frame. Okay, makes me actually think about I play a strategical war fighting game with my boys. I got 9-year old twins and a 5-year old, and one of my army buddies. We play online, and the enemy can jump out at you from anywhere and make you jump out of your chair and make you tense up. I'm using the mouse and the keyboard, and if I tense up at that moment, I won't be able to reply and shoot back, and I'll miss. But if I stayed calm, which often happens, the enemy jumps out, I stay calm, and then respond accordingly with speed and accuracy and smoothness. Okay, so uh, let's try to break this down. What is your secret to staying calm, not flinching, even in a fear-filled society like the one we are faced today? Okay, that's a big question. It's a big problem. First, I would suggest that you always attack your questions and your problems with a through a multivariate analysis in a very scientific method, okay, manner. The answer to your questions are never one variable. Like today, they use fear in our society, and they often use one variable to scare you to death and to get you to hate a certain identity group. Like, and pick it. You got gender, you got age, you got race, you got income, and they will divide us up and get us to hate each other on these groups. Okay, but what you got to do is sit back because they poked you. Like, let's use the gender wage gap. They're going to tell you that men get paid more than women, and they're going to show you a statistic, and they're going to tell you it's unfair, and it's because all men, all white men, we can even throw race in there, hold most of the CEO positions. Okay, they tossed one variable at you. Well, most CEOs are men, and now you're mad. You're a woman. You're mad. You're using emotions, and you respond in an emotional manner. Oh, I hate men. They're so unfair. We have to do something about this. We have to make sure there's equal amount of men and women in these positions. Okay, so that's only one variable. You're looking at a statistic, and upon adding just one other variable, like how many people want to be a CEO, really want to be a CEO of these large corporations, because it's going to require a pathological desire to accrue world record billable hours. That's their life goal. I want to focus, laser focus on this goal. I just want to see how many billable hours I can accrue so I can lead my corporation to success. And they're going to sacrifice everything else. There's not going to be any balance in their life. They're not going to go to the gym. They're not going to read any other literature besides what they have to read to be the best at business. They're not going to see any movies. They're not going to raise their children. Their their boys, like my boys, would end up raising themselves. I like to spend time training them, teaching them values. Somebody else is going to teach your children values. If you're on the path to be a CEO of a large corporation, okay? Turns out when you do the personality test, and the data is very clear, very clear. Women are more balanced than men. Women are smarter. And I mean that. They're smarter. They're like, I'm not going to go down a pathological line like that. I want health and fitness, and I want my life to be of high quality. Just because you're CEO doesn't mean your life is of a high quality. Okay? You can't force people to desire to be a CEO. So if you dive into the age or the gender wage gap, you'll find all these discrepancies that will show you that it's not due to men being hateful towards women and not wanting to pay them. They actually get paid the same or more if they have the same resume. Now, in the US, you'll if you dive, that's another variable. It's like, do you have the exact same resume? Women will get paid, and often they get paid more than men. So, uh, when you come up, that's one of my tools when I come up against a problem. Okay, no matter what the problem is, the situation is, okay, we have a mission that needs completed. Something happened, a fight with your teammate, fight with your wife, something blew up in your face. Now you're emotionally charged. Our emotions will often cause us to choose an immediate response without analyzing multiple variables. That's where the mistake lies. We jump on what seems to be the first thing that will alleviate the situation. And you can break it down in the most rudimentary example of arguing with your girlfriend or your wife, and nothing you say is persuading her to your line of thought, and you're so angry you punch the drywall. You put a hole through the drywall. Well, why'd you do that? You actually did that for a reason. It's not the best reason in the world. It's like, okay, if you're not, this could be an answer. If you're not listening to words, maybe you'll listen to actions. Or maybe after I do something extreme like this, you'll take the time to hear me. All right. But if you sit back, and this is a technique, this skill that I use, that people who stay calm in situations and find the answer. Uh, I'll steal from Jocko Willink. He calls it detaching. I always called it stepping back and looking at the big view. Okay, it's trying to see it all the way to the end, like in chess. I've also competed in chess, tournament player in chess, and you have your opening often planned. Middle game uh, can turn things upside down, and as soon as things get turned upside down in chess, and you're no longer on moves that you memorized, that you already had pre-planned, now you got to come up with a new plan on the fly. What you try to do is see all the way through to the end game. Well, if I sacrifice my rook right now, I might be able to work in a checkmate in 12 moves. Or I'm going to take my pawn advantage and keep trading pieces all the way to the end, and we're going to end up in a king rook pawn versus a king rook. And do I want that kind of end game? See it all the way through to the end. Okay. If you take an emotionally charged response without looking through all the way to the end, you're going to punch the drywall. Now, what I've literally done, because I'm not perfect, I got so flustered in my early 20s when before I left for Germany, I must have been 20, uh, with my girlfriend. Okay, we had a conversation on the phone. It didn't go well. So flustered, I picked up a box fan like this. This is embarrassing. So embarrassing. And I was like, pow! I punched right through it like Steven Seagal. And then my hand was stuck. Okay, that's the variable I didn't consider. Now I'm calm. The adrenaline's gone, and my hand is stuck in a box fan like a trap, spike sticking into my wrist. I can't get it back out. Complete idiot. All right. Uh, so that actually leads into another key point is experience. I've screwed up many situations where I didn't stay calm and look for the right answer, which I learned from. Learn from those. Think about those. Integrate them into you. The last time I let my emotions get the best of me, I got my hand stuck in a box fan. I feel like punching the drywall right now, but am I going to feel like repairing it later? Quick analysis like, no, no, let's just breathe. And that's actually a thing. Work on breathing techniques. I recently saw Hickson Gracie talk about his breathing techniques, and also the Iceman. What's his name? He walked Mount Everest in nothing but shorts. And one takeaway I got is a little trick. Is if you take a big deep breath, you go, and you focus on your breath and focus on letting it out as slow as you possibly can. Time yourself. Try it once. See if you can spread that out over a minute. It's very difficult. There's biological things happening. With the big breath, you're getting a lot of oxygen to the brain. That helps. Take big deep breaths. Oxygenate the brain. Get extra blood, oxygen into the blood. That always helps with everything in your body. Um, and then practice letting it out really slow. First time I tried to let it out over the course of a minute, I couldn't do it. It was so hard. Um, and then after a couple tries, I finally achieved it. I was like, I gotta let it out even slower. I gotta really focus. You can do that in a heated situation. Walk away, do that little trick. What you'll find out is your brain cannot think about anything else besides that task because we really can't multitask. That's a thing. We can bounce back and forth quickly from project to project, from idea to idea, from thought to thought. Try to think red blue at the same time. Red blue, red blue, red blue, red blue. I was like, you can't. It's either red or blue, not at the same time. Red, red, blue. It's it's so fast. It seems like the same time, but it's not. So you can use that phenomenon with this breathing technique to calm yourself down. And then immediately afterwards, you'll at least be able to think of one step further that you weren't thinking about when you were flustered. I would use that one when you're in an argument face to face because those are the hardest. It's like I don't want to say anything stupid right now. You've really triggered me. I just want to tear into you and win this argument and make you feel this big. That's what humans want to do when they've been triggered. But if it's your wife, you don't really win. If it's your friend, you don't really win because you're going to have to see and talk to that person again. All right. So, uh, it's uh, it's a process learning how to stay calm, step back, detach, find as many variables as you can to consider the situation. What is the best order of operations to finish the mission? What is the best steps I can take right now to get us out of here alive? I don't care what I want to do for immediate pleasure. For immediate pleasure, I'd like to just tear your head off and hurl some insults. That's not going to get us out of here alive. In the boot camp for immediate pleasure, I'd rather just throw my computer against the wall and walk out and say I'm done with this boot camp. But that's not going to get us out of here alive. Okay. not going to finish the boot camp, not going to start a career, not going to make any money, not going to provide for your family. And if you don't do all those things as a man and as a woman, but I'm speaking from my perspective, I would feel so useless. I would be depressed, and that wouldn't be a great mind state to be in. Okay, see how I went through a quick cascade of thoughts right there. It's like this will lead to this, this will lead to this, this will lead to this. And I don't know I don't know how or why or if it's biological or it was completely learned. I think it's always both. Uh, that's always seems for as long as I can remember, I've definitely gotten better at it. But as long as I can remember, I've been that type of individual. Smack me in the face, street fight situation. You just smacked me in the face. I'm gonna step back and think about it. You know, possible scenario. Well, he's there was no follow up. He just smacked me. Okay. I'd look at him. He's in this situation. He's smaller and he's completely flustered emotionally. And I'm looking at him like, I don't think he really meant to do that because I will crush him and I'll send him to the hospital if I respond how I'd like to respond. And now he's kind of just standing there with a oh shit look on his face. All right, so just a pause, just a step back. It can save me jail time. If I crush him, send him to the hospital, save me jail time. I don't go to jail. All right. It can also save a friendship. Maybe he's actually a solid friend, and maybe he got bad information. All these things are variables. Think through them. Use your mind. Be logical. Okay. Like Greg brought up in the boot camp, it's like we've been given these problems. There's a way through it. I just haven't found it yet. And if somebody else could find it and figure it out, then I can. So don't get flustered. Just keep digging, keep plugging, keep trying things over and over again until you get through it. Thinking about biological versus environmental things you're born with, things you learn. Okay. I seem to always been the type of person that if I failed, I would try again. I don't know if that was biological learned, but if I failed, I would try again and again and again. Seemed almost pathological, almost like a disorder. I've said before, I like to brag. I'm the type of person you don't want to play checkers against. If you beat me, I'm not going to throw the checkerboard against the wall. I'm going to set the pieces up again and say, let's go. Let's do it again. And that's a metaphor for life. Is if something beats you, set the pieces up and go again immediately. Okay? If you misspoke, if you're in a conversation with a loved one and you misspoke, reset, set the pieces back up immediately. Pause, take a step back, and you're like, actually, what I just said was really stupid, really dumb. I only said it because I was emotionally flustered and I couldn't find the correct words. I want to try that again. Let me see if I can say it better. Okay? And then say it better and say what you really mean. And you might actually melt that person's heart because of the approach you took. Uh, that's your relationships, your education, your career, your fitness, your training. When I'm training, it's a tool to practice. Training is a tool to practice that tool. Um, I got a new toy, a sledgehammer, 25-pound sledgehammer. I tried it out yesterday. I put it in a workout, and in a way, it was a new workout I haven't done before, but similar to other workouts. So I kind of knew what to expect, kind of didn't. Plus, I'm always in various levels of conditioning. It goes up and down, never stays the same, depending on how much I've trained and what I've trained, how hard I've trained for the past months. Uh, so I jump into this workout, and after the first round, it's like 4 minutes later, uh, it's already ugly, and I got 3 more rounds to go. Okay, 3 more rounds to go. There are 4 stations, 1 minute each of maximal effort, swinging that sledgehammer, rowing, burpees, box jumps. And I had a goal before I started, and now 1 minute into the round, I'm in a panic, serious panic. It's like if I'm going to hit my goal, it's going to require a vomitous level of pain and suffering to hit my goal, to hit the numbers I wanted. I wanted 20 burpees around, I wanted 20 cows around a rower, 20 swings, 20 box jumps. I can do that when I'm in top shape, competitive shape. I know this because I've measured it a million times, these kind of workouts. But yesterday I was not in top shape. So what I had to do was quickly analyze the variables after round one. One of the variables was I'm not in top shape. This is clear. Okay, but what is the mission? I got to stay on the mission. I got to keep moving. I can't let this panic cause me to quit because that's very common. You get your butt kicked on that first round and you say, "Oh, I'm not ready for this," and you just tap out. You stop. Okay, but the mission was not to hit these at the bottom of what I was trying to achieve that day was not just to hit those numbers. Those ensure that I work hard. That's why they're there. But the mission was to increase my fitness. So stay on point. Stay on the mission. Analyze variables. It's like, okay, slow down but don't stop. It's a bummer I'm not going to hit those 20s. Let's back it off just a little bit. Uh, and stay focused. Keep breathing. Keep moving. Endure the pain. Push the panic back and keep moving. Ended up getting a good workout. One that I was proud of, and one that I know was gonna move the needle on my fitness. Mission accomplished. Okay, so that's the tool I want you guys to walk away with. Is always remember in your most flustered moments, every problem requires a multivariate analysis. And to do this analysis, you need a clear mind. You got to step back, detach from the emotions, refocus on the mission, and find the proper order of operations to accomplish this mission. And a rule of thumb is your first emotional response is usually wrong.